Okay, anyway, I'm picking up where I last left off. Basically, I took the tire out. Not too much of a challenge at all, really. Just gotta mark. Let's see, I made some, this is the left side adjuster. See, I made some notes here, like this is the right side, and I marked where the marks were in accordance to, let's see if you can see it on here. Yeah, actually the frame right there. See the notch right there in the frame? Yeah, right there. So little stuff like that, you want to do that. And like this spacer is the left side of the bike. This side I'm sitting on now, it's much wider, you know, and it, you know, it just goes in there. The other side is much smaller, so you want to, I take a lot of pictures, and you know, this spacer is much smaller than that one, so you know, obviously things you want to definitely take in consideration going back together. So mark things, take a lot of pictures. What I'm actually doing here is taking off this rear fender to get it painted. This is the first time I've been this deep in my bike, so I just figured. So just some quick notes on, real quick again, some tips. So getting this axle out, when the axle was in here, I chose to not cheat. Like obviously, see it hits my bag support down here on the bottom. So what I did was I loosened it up here and here on the inside, took this nut and bolt out right here and just swung it down. It was hung down right about here, whatever, and then I was able to just kind of slide this out. So, you know, I don't know, taking shortcuts can really be a pain in the ass and kind of give you a hassle, whereas just another couple moments, you know, to take out and take a nut and bolt off, loosen up some other ones, drop something down and proceed. So over on the other side, the brake caliper, really not a big deal. What I did was, a lot of guys take I know my lighting kind of sucks here, but you can, like my bike's up on a motorcycle jack, as you can see, it's up here. So what I did was, when it came time to, when I loosened the bolt and got the nut off on the axle and used a dead blow, obviously you don't want to use any metal hammers, you just use a dead blow, you know, doesn't hurt any metal or anything like that. So if you and so I just lowered the bike down. I lowered it back down until the rear tire barely touched the ground, putting just a little bit of load on the rear tire to kind of take the bind out of the rear axle, and then I was able to just pull that axle right on out. And then I started jacking the jack up slowly, a little bit by little bit, until this tire started, you know, the bike started to lift up off of the tire, and then I kind of wiggled the rear rotor out from the caliper there until it freed up, and then I just went and jacked the bike up the rest of the way, and the tire just ended up dropping and leaning. That's as high as my bike goes right there. So, but the tire just kind of basically dropped and leaned a little bit, and I was able to just kind of, you know, turn it a little bit and drop it down to the ground, and you know, there it is. So guys, I would recommend highly spending a little bit extra money getting even if it's, I wouldn't say get a cheap jack, but get a, you know, an intermediate one, a bike jack. It's just I don't use it, I would say not, you know, I don't use it a lot, but I'm pretty fortunate that I did this. I traded it for some work on a guy's bike that I used to live next to, and he traded me that for some maintenance, get his bike running and stuff. And it was you know, on projects like this, when you wish you had one and you do, man, whew, big difference. So moving on, we'll move forward, and I'm trying to inspect on how this rear fender can come out basically as an assembly. I don't want to take all, you know, I don't want to take all this off and the chrome, like in all the, you know, the rear tail lights, you know, assembly and all that crap. I want all that to come out basically with the fender, and then I'll put the fender on a bench and take the rest of that stuff off. So I'm looking at it here, and I'm seeing, I don't know, basically I'll probably have to take you know, these two bolts out right here. I'll take those two out, and it's already, like I said, it's already loose over here from when I, you know, loosened it before to get the axle out. But so I'll just drop that down a little bit, and then that'll free up the outside of that. There's, the way I see it, there's 1, 2. See that Torx? Let's see. I know my light sucks, guys. Sorry. that torques up, I know my light, up under here. So it's behind there. I'll get a light here in a second, but I'm trying to do all this by myself, but there's a Torx up under here. There you go, right there, up under there. And that one, that bolts, let's see if I can get in here. Camera stuff sucks, but you know, basically the fender ends let's see, the fender itself ends right here where my finger is. So you've got, I'm looking on the inside, so basically this is the other side. I'll go to the other side. See there, you got that female boss right there, and this is that Torx that I showed you under here. So there's one, the way I see it, two right here, that's two. I don't know if you count down here, you know, whatever, 3 and 4, but see what that does is down here on the bottom, by me undoing these two right here, it's going to free up. You have a hoop up inside, and there's, you can see this main bolt right here in the front. I'm sorry, not in the front, but anyway, back in the back here. And this is kind of like a hoop. So if I undo the other two on the other side right here, they're the same on as these two right here. Then an undo, well, basically I'm not going to touch that. I want this fender to come out with this bracket, and it will via these two and the other two on this side. So when I get it on the bench, then this can come out, the tail, you know, all this other crap, you know, tail light, there it is right there. It's, you know, your bolts are easier to get to. I actually on this bike have, I'll go to the other side real quick. So on this bike, this is another one of those killing birds, many birds with one stone with this project is, so you see the three, I'm sorry, so you see the three nuts right there, one, let's see, 1, 2, 3 that hold the outer skirt, right? Holds that skirt. Well, mine, one of these in the middle, I think it's this middle one right. Yeah, it's this middle one right here. It just free spins because the weld broke, or you know, like, so you can see on the other side, there's 1, 2, and the bottom one. There is it. Yeah, right there, 3. So those are your skirt. I call it a skirt, the rear skirt. You know, the filler, whatever, the filler skirt, whatever, in between your bags. But mine on this side that I'm sitting on, but this middle one, but on this side, that one right there, is free spinning. It broke loose. So when I get this apart, and you know, the fender comes off, and I put it on the bench, and I get everything off, I'm going to have that spot welded back in place, because right now it's a pain in the ass. All this wants to do is turn, and it's just barely loose enough to get, you know, that skirt piece in behind it, and it causes problems. Instead of just going together smoothly, I have to like kind of like tuck that in behind that nut and all the rest of them, you know, get them over the studs. It's a pain in the ass. So anyway, so as I demonstrated, so you see it on the other side, there's, yeah, here's your other, right here is that other female boss. So the way I see it, that's 1, and then, you know, skirt, or the fender ends basically right here. Fender ends, so this is the end towards the front of the bike. 1, we go up, I want to try to tuck in there, there's the other one. 2, and then 2 on this side, that's 4. And so basically there's 4 unless I'm mistaken. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and tackle taking out those 4 bolts and see kind of where I stand. I'm gonna take out those 4 bolts as well as these 2 outer hoop, but leaving the hoop inside connected to the rear fender. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, check it out. So I'm back trying to tackle that first front, kind of somewhat hidden freaking Torx under there, and it's enough to get your Torx bite on it, but I went in diligently and got a good bite on the Torx itself. Fortunately, it wasn't real tight. So I just pushed in aggressively and kind of just, you know, leaned on the ratchet a little bit, nice and smooth, because I'm also at an angle. Like obviously I get that, you know, I'm not at a 90-degree angle like I'd like to be, but I was fortunately able to get in there. It wasn't too tight and it came loose, you know. As you can see, it's coming out just fine. And I think it's not, matter of fact, it's long enough. Check it out. So I wish this light was better, guys, sorry. But you can see, kind of, sort of, hold on. I don't know, but the nut, I'm sorry, the Torx bolt comes out. Look, matter of fact, there it is, nice and easy. Came out pretty simple. It's a pretty short bolt. They do it on purpose, I think. Hopefully, you know. See, so there, it's out now. They put a shorter one in there so it doesn't come all the way out and butt up against that you know, that backdrop there, and then you're screwed. But no, there you go. So I'll go do the other side the same. I'm gonna take out this other one right here, that one on the left, and see what happens here. Okay guys, I'm back. So what's happened is I've taken out all 1, 2, 3, there's 2 on, there's one here, you can see it right there, empty hole right there. Okay, that's 1. The other one was the hidden one up under there, way up under here. There you go, back behind there. 2, and then the same on the other side, so that's 4. But like I said, what I did, I came and took out the 2 of my bag hoop, outer hoop support, hanger, whatever you want to call it. I loosened that bolt, took out the 2 there, and so now obviously I have, you know, it's loose. Now if you can, and that's all there is to it, guys, really. I mean, if you look up under, so on the top, okay, I'm sorry, we'll go up underneath. The wiring harness from everything comes and pokes up through the top, right? So here's the cool part is, what I noticed is, you come up to the top, and I have my backrest support, which is what that is right there, as well as obviously passenger seat support, but I'm not worried about that. So anyway, I have a brace. This brace right here, you see leaning off to the right, or I'm sorry, off right here. You know, I just loosened it down here, took it apart from right there, and just swung it to the side, because I want this, again, I want as much to come out with the fender as possible. I'm not worried about unbolting everything from the fender and bringing just the fender out. That would be a pain in the ass. So I'm a big fan of taking things out as an assembly, putting it on a bench, and then boom, you can rip ass, you know, and disassemble things on a bench right there real quick and have your bare ass fender. So anyway, what I'm getting to is over here, see where this pigtail is that I undid right here. It just undid from, well, basically it's female part right there. I undid the pigtail, and then it just kind of sneaks right there in a little hole. So again, I'm going to take that with me. That's going with the fender. The female, I guess it would be, yeah, I'm sorry, the female part will stay obviously with the bike. Male part right there, and the harness that goes up underneath the fender will go with the fender. So as you can tell, guys, like my fender is very loose. You can see, like, this fender is ready to come out. However, what's holding it now is this skirt right here, and You know, it's hitting my exhaust, even though my exhaust is loose with the hoop, you know, the outer bag. I don't want to take off anything excessively that I don't really need to. That's silly. I'm trying to do this as an assembly and as little steps as possible. Yeah, you know, we're trying to cheat a little bit and try to, you know, cheat the forces, which we're doing, you know. But again, like this is all loose over here and everything, but not, it's a little loose, but it's hitting and everything. So guys, what I'm gonna have to end up doing, which is okay with me actually, is going inside here. It's kind of a crappy view, sorry. I'm actually gonna go in behind here, you know, and just take these 1, 2, and down there on the bottom 3 on each side and remove my skirt. Then I think this fender will pretty much drop down and just kind of, you know, you just kind of walk it on out. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back. So I took the 4 bolts out, 2 on each side. As I said before, I took the 2 hoops on each side right here, and then I had to go ahead and remove my skirt. Haha. So there's, you know, my back skirt, because it was hitting the exhaust, it wouldn't come on out. So there was an extra couple removals needed, but for the most part, it's easy. It's like a size 13 freaking couple single bolts. But so as I started, actually after I got that out, the fender actually wanted to go ahead and drop on out pretty much by itself. However, it could have, but you're gonna run into, I don't know if you guys can see right here, these, I don't know, they're whatever you want to call them, but they're, I don't know, they're spacer bolts, whatever, from when we took that first one out right here. Well, that's fine, we take those out, but trying to get that past, as you can see, we're kind of missing something, and that something is, well, this fucking light, first of all. Fucking light, man. But as you guys can see, I took out, it was like this. I took out that left bolt, and the right bolt was still in it. But trying to get the fender out, because of these things right here on each side, they wanted to go ahead and hit the inside of here and kind of just ride it as a rail, but it didn't want to come out. So what I was thinking, as I was trying to put myself in the thinking mode, as when this thing's painted and going back in, how much I want it to go back smoothly and not bump around, slide, hit, and fuck up my new paint job. So what I did was I took out the other remaining bolt, the one that goes on the right hole right there, and this mount just lifts out, no problem. Okay, so I just put that off to the side, and now only on one side, I don't have to do both sides. And then lo and behold, then you just kind of work this out a little bit. I don't know, you wanna, okay guys, so with that other side out, this side's still in right here. I don't need to take it out, that'd be too sloppy. You'd be going in with this fender, you would definitely need 2 or 3 extra sets of hands to help you hold this, hold that, while you center things. This can stay, because now this fender will simply just kind of fall down a little bit, bring the rear down past your exhaust. Kind of just work it as if the tire were on it, work that fender as if it were on the tire, and just come on out, just like that. And there, guys, is our, exactly what I wanted. If we go inside and look, might be bad lighting, so let me get some better lighting here, guys. I'm not working with the best of conditions, so just work with me, guys. So here's the inside of our fender. So again, like I said before, our wiring harness comes with it, taillight assembly. There's your bumper guard, inner bumper guard. This fender doesn't have an outer, because this is a custom bike, and they took it off, or whatever, it was off a long time ago. But anyway, now this is on the bench. There's my taillight assembly, license plate assembly, and let's see, which side would it be? It would be this side right here, this inner. Remember, guys, I told you about, there it is right there, that middle. And now you're seeing what happened to my paint job. I'm not sure what all happened. It's irrelevant at this point, which is why I'm doing this whole project. But here is the twisted, broken weld on the other side. So that nut just stays solid on there, especially now it has paint on it. But anyway, and that's just not going to work for me, because trying to put that skirt back on goes on fine here and here, but then you end up having to tuck and curl the claws inside back behind there. You scratch shit up, and I'm not cool with that. But anyway, I'll go ahead and disassemble the rest of this fender and get it stripped down. But yeah, there's your, pretty simple, guys. I mean, the whole thing, rear tire, fender. I've been out here maybe, I don't know, hour and a half tops, and a lot of that is stopping to make video, but I'll try to make one that goes back together, and I hope this helps some of you guys out there, because I know that as I try to look for support and YouTube videos on exactly what I just did right here, that would have been really helpful to watch somebody do some of that, some of those tips, those small tips that I showed you as I went through. So anyway, Rich with a 2007 Harley Street Glide, custom badass chopper. All right, later.